Mr. Marvin is a scuba diver, and he's a Marine, a veteran here in the United States of America, a U.S. Marine Corps member. And speaking of that, I got to try to get you to come out and join our organization where I met your buddy at.
Yeah, you met my buddy at that Marfa Point Marine Association here in Chicago.
Right.
And, you know, Marfa Point and the Marine Corps goes back a long way because back in the day, all the blacks that came in the Marine Corps went to Marfa Point, North Carolina.
Yeah.
You know, that's way before my time, obviously, but that's where Marfa Point comes from.
Right. Now, what year were you in the military? Anyway?
I went in the Marine Corps in 1970 and retired out of the Marine Corps in 1998.
Oh, good. You made a career out of it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I retired in 1998. Retired as a sergeant major.
Now, Mr. Martin, I understand that you are part of a scuba diving group, which is a little rare for the average black person. You know, just thinking about it. You know, if you're in the military, you say, yeah, you're not shocked by that. You know, there's some Navy SEALs and all the rest of that. You know. So, but to say that you guys started a scuba diving club here in the Chicago area. How long has this been going on, and how did this come about?
Well, first of all, yeah, I'm the president of the the Windy City SEALs of Chicago, Windy City SEALs Scuba Diving Club of Chicago, and let's see. Now we've been around now for I would say like 14 years. 14 years now, and basically the way it came about was well, back in the day, so to speak, you know, it wasn't too many blacks that were scuba divers, and so we needed to have an organization, have a club, so to speak, that will basically, as a diver, you need to have a partner. You need to have a partner when you dive, and that is one of the basic skills or basic requirements when you do dive. But a black person in the diving industry was almost like a black person in the golfing industry before, you know, Tiger Woods. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so we needed that camaraderie, so we started this club here in Chicago. And before we started the club here in Chicago, there's been a national organization called the National Organization of Black Scuba Divers, NABS, that was headquartered out of Atlanta, Georgia. And that is our national organization. They have about maybe 20, 30 clubs around the United States, currently active clubs around the United States. Now, I might be off maybe one or two clubs there, but and currently right now, the NABS organization are having a summit, which is in Egypt.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so they're having a summit, which is Egypt, and basically these summits are, you know, they take place, you know, strategically, you know, every year around the world. It just so happened this year is in Egypt.
And how long have you been a member of it, Mr. Martin?
Oh, since the club was formed, so 14 years.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, so you guys in Chicago are 14 years old. Now, how old is the organization itself, the national organization?
The national organization, I would think the national organization is about 30 years old, thereabouts. And the national organization has been around, like I say, about 30 years, and they're about not only creating awareness in the black community for aquatics, but also pushing science, the science of it all. Getting young people. I can't tell you how many people that are. We have a young lady right now that is that works for the aquarium downtown Chicago. Well, not downtown, but the aquarium. Okay, and so her field is going to be marine biology. We have a lot of marine biologist doctors that's got in that field, and young people that's trying to get into the commercial aspect of diving, of this sport, so to speak. The awareness, if people don't know it, that is out there, obviously they're not going to pursue it.
Approximately how many members do you have in Chicago or nationally, or both?
Well, our active members here in Chicago, we have about 20 members.
Okay.
I do know that right now they got about 173 divers that went to the summit out in Egypt, but that's just those guys going out there to Egypt. That's a really expensive trip one can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But I would the total numbers nationally. I don't have that number, quite frankly. I don't have that number.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be, I would say, on average, maybe 300 divers nationally.
Okay. Now, what about in the white community? About how many diving clubs or how many divers do you think there would be over there?
We're just a fraction of what's going on in the white community.
I figured that, but, guys, because you hear a lot of people that go on vacation. Well, I'm going scuba diving, So that's why I was asking the question, because I assume that, by you being in the Marines or Navy person, you would definitely kind of maybe learn about that, even if it's by accident. How did you find out? How did you get involved with it?
Well, quite frankly, when I was in the Marine Corps, that was one thing I didn't do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Jumping out of planes and going in the field and all the rest of the stuff that I did naturally. Diving was one of them. It wasn't until I met my wife, and we was actually on a honeymoon, and on a cruise, and I was just snorkeling around.
Right.
And I saw divers under the water doing their thing. And I looked down and I see these guys diving, and I thought to myself, I can do this. Now, I had a friend of mine. We both were in the Marine Corps together. And he was already a master diver instructor. The fact of the matter is he trained pilots on water survival and all the rest of the stuff. When we met in the Marine Corps, he tried to get me to do that stuff. And I said, I don't want to push the envelope no more further than what we got it, man. If I don't have to do it, I ain't going to do it. But lo and behold, after I seen these guys diving when I was on my honeymoon with my wife, that's just something I said I can do, and I started diving. But unfortunately, I injured myself in doing so, and then had to stay out of the water for almost a year. But then I started back diving again, and when I got out the Marine Corps and came home, when I got here in Chicago, I needed to find a club. I looked around for a club, and I couldn't find no club, but I did find a dive shop. And when I found the dive shop here in Chicago, it was Mike Purnell. He was the only black diver shop in this region. When I say this region, I'm talking about Illinois, Ohio, Wisconsin, so
other
forth.
word, the Midwest. Okay, the whole
long
Midwest.
story short of it all, he asked me, I asked him to, try to get my certification going. And he found that I was in the Marine Corps, that I retired from the Marine Corps. He said, well, it's another guy that we call him Sarge, and he was teaching the class. Maybe you know him. And so, I said, okay, well, we'll find out. He showed me this guy was teaching the class, and lo and behold, It was my old Marine Corps buddy, Andrew Ryle. He was teaching the class, and I walked in his classroom, and he couldn't believe it was me. And so I've been diving ever since.
Now, well, what caused the injury for you? How did you get injured?
Well, what happened was, it was an ear injury.
Okay.
It's a technical. Basically, what happened was I ruptured the barrel in my ear.
Yeah, got you.
Because of decompression.
Okay. Yeah.
And because of that, I could have lost my hearing.
Right.
And so I had to stay out of the water for almost a year before I was able to get back into the water, because I didn't equalize correctly. And again, that was a really rookie mistake. But I would like to say I was a brand new diver and didn't equalize correctly and injured myself.
And what do you mean equalize?
Well, we're getting real technical now.
Well, I mean, you're the one who knows. I don't. You're talking.
Well, I tell you what, just like when you go on the plane and you lift up off the ground, first thing you guys be doing, you got to chew that gum and you got to pop your ears, so forth and so on. You can relate to that, right?
Right.
Now you take that and you multiply that by 3 when you're going in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so if you don't equalize your ears, you can cause a lot of damage.
And going into the water, how do you do that when you're going down and water pressure and all that stuff? So how do you do it? How does a diver?
Well, the first couple of feet, you have to constantly a slight blowing in your nose, slight wiggling your jaws to keep the pressure in your ears equalized to the ambient pressure that is around you. Okay, that first 33 feet is critical in diving. So every foot that you go down, you're trying to equalize. You go down until you get to like we call 1 atmosphere. 1 atmosphere is 33 feet, and after that 1 atmosphere, things gets better. Just like when you go on a plane, as soon as you lift up off the ground. And you start going higher and higher, you have to just keep constantly equalizing or blowing in your nose or wiggling your jaw until you level off, so to speak. And then it's the pressure in your ears have equalized, so to speak.
Yeah, kind of adjusted to it. Now, you were talking about people getting involved in it. How expensive is it to be a scuba diver, equipment-wise and all that stuff?
It's. I would say it could be not that expensive, but again, the equipment that you're using as a diver are life-saving equipment. So it depends on how much that you invest in the equipment. Some of the equipment can be not that bad. Basically what was called a buoyancy control vest. Buoyancy control vest. Those can run you about $300. You know what I'm saying? Then you got your regulators, then your wetsuits and so forth and so on. One to spend $1,000 or more initially getting into diving, but that suit, that initial investment, will last you a long time, 10 years. Just like when you went golfing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you're a golfer or not.
Yeah, I do. I golf.
Right. So your initial investment on a set of golf clubs, whether you want to get the more expensive one or the cheap one, you're not going to get rid of them golf clubs for years. You probably still got your first set of golf clubs you got, and then you improve on those golf clubs or bought some want to invest, obviously. But initially, I would say a person getting into diving, you know, if you buy some new equipment, it's going to run you about $1,200 for all your equipment. Now, you know, you got a lot of eBay stuff, a lot of people getting stuff secondhand, and you might can get some stuff cheaper. But again, this is life-saving equipment. Obviously, you want the best stuff.
Okay, now say if I became got involved with scuba diving. I'm in the Midwest here. You know, it's the summers are short, not like in California or Florida down south somewhere. Now, where and what would I do in the wintertime when I got ready to do this, or would I just go to the swimming pool, or what would I? How can I keep myself in shape?
Well, in the Midwest, obviously, you need to find yourself a good pool. You know what I'm saying? And keep your you know, your swim on, get the strokes on, what have you. Just keep yourself in shape. You know what I'm saying? Also, in you know, during the summer months, you know, we train in quarries out in the Midwest, and even still in the quarry, the waters are still cold, so we have to have the correct wetsuits that can keep you warm in the wetsuit. Now, in the Midwest, wetsuits in the Midwest, you need at least a 6.5 or a 7 mil wetsuit. That will keep you warm throughout the season in the Midwest.
I noticed that we've had some divers here in Chicago in the police department or fire department in the, you know, going out looking for folks, you know, when there's an accident out there on the lake, you know. So that
now, yeah, the lake is a different story altogether.
Okay.
Because in the lake, what you have is what we call a thermal climb. When you get below, let's say, 30 feet, or even, it depends on, the thermal climb can change from 30 feet or maybe to 20 feet, but when you get like at surface temperature, the water temperature might be 70 degrees. But as you go down maybe 20 feet, that temperature will drop from the 70 to 40 degrees, or even lower. Okay, especially in the, I would say in June and July, those months like that. The lake temperature don't start to warm up until really October. And so diving in the lake, you need a different type of suit. And you need a dry suit, what we call a dry suit. That's a specialized suit. Now you can go with a 7 mil suit, but you ain't gonna stay down there long. Okay. You need a dry suit.
So, okay.
In the lake.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. How long can one stay down? How long have you ever stayed down, or what is the, you know, how does one do that?
Okay, so again, you're getting really technical when I
well, I mean, you
the farther down you go, the less amount of time you have to stay down there, because what's happening is the omnipotent pressure around you is exerting a lot of pressure on your lungs. Okay, and what happens is that the regulator is inflating your lungs with air from the tank, so that you can breathe. And so the more pressure that you have, the omnipotent pressure around you, the more it takes for the air, the pressure that goes in your lungs to be inflated.
Okay. Now, what about?
I'm just trying to make it simple.
And that's what you're the expert, so that's why I'm asking the question, because I've not done it, don't know it, you know.
Right.
The technical aspect of it. Yeah, go on.
So so the further down you go, more pressure it takes for you to inflate your lungs, the less time you have, because you're not going to have that much air in your tank. Okay? And then there's another aspect to it. If as a recreational diver, we don't want to be subject to what we call decompression, what we call a decompression dive. a decompression dive is a dive that you have to stop and let your system, the nitrogen in your body catch up. Okay, and sometimes that decompression stop can be almost an hour. You know what I'm saying? So usually recreational divers, we don't stay down no more than 100. Well, at a recreation diver is not going to go no more than 130 feet, and even at 130 feet, you're not going to stay down there no more than 15 minutes thereabouts, so that you won't have to do what we call a decompression stop.
Okay. Yeah, you know, the thing of this is new to me. I'm learning, you know, the process. That's why I'm asking the question. They made now. I want to become a scuba diver.
Okay.
Okay. Now, how do I go about doing that?
Okay. So what we do, first thing what we do is what we call a Discover Scuba, and this is what we're doing with these young kids. We call it Discover Scuba. And basically, it's a 4-hour session, 2 hours in the classroom and 2 hours in the pool. And obviously, in the classroom, we teach you the science of it all. Some of the questions that you're asking, we cover in the classroom. And then we actually take you and put you in the water with all the equipment on and teach you some basic skills. And from that Discover Scuba, usually what happens, people make their decision whether this is something I want to do or not. Normally what happens is this is how we get people hook, line, and sinker, because they see how easy it is, and that this is something they can do, and this is something they've been missing. Because once they open their eyes to this newfound sport, and they see how easy it is, now they want to pursue it even further. You know, it's no more going on vacation or just snorkeling around an island or just snorkel. Now they can go down there and dive with the big boys, so to speak.
And where are some of the places that you've done your deep diving?
Well, obviously it's Florida. Florida is one of the is a diver's hangout, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But all across the Caribbean, we've been. This last year, we had people in Cuba, and doing the dives in Cuba, Aruba, Honduras, Roatan, Honduras, Cayman Islands. Cozumel is a real nice place to go. We actually had the NABS had people out in Africa actually doing a archaeological dive on a slave ship out there. That's been, I think there was a write up about it in a dive bag. Just about anywhere in the world, you know, we have guys have gone diving, you know, along with that big pool we have out there in front of our house called Lake Michigan. We do a lot of diving out there as well.
You guys got a website or anything, or how can one get in touch with you or get involved with you guys? You know, because it's a lot of science here. A lot of science, you know, that you got to deal with.
Yeah, we do have a website, Windy City Seals of Chicago, Windy City Seals Scuba Diving Club of Chicago. It's on the website. Again, this is like the year end of right now, and we haven't got our schedules rescheduled yet for 2020, which will be pretty soon. Soon we have a few more meetings, but yes, we do have a website, and you can just always get on there and read all about us.
Okay, so give that website so people can find it. You know,
it's Windy City Seals of Chicago.
.com or .net, .org?
.com. Windy City Seals of Chicago.com.
Okay, yeah. Now, notice you talked about the young lady who's majoring in
marine biology.
Biology, yeah. You know.
She's actually our secretary, and her name is LaDonna Reese. And we're very proud of her, and she does a lot of volunteer work out there to the aquarium.
Yeah, that's a good.
And she also helps out with these kids when we do our Discover Scuba. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to step on you. I thought you had stopped, and that's why I was getting ready to say something. Now, approximately how many kids or young people or people in general that you guys normally teaching around here?
Well, this group that we have coming up on the 16th and the 23rd is about one of the largest groups that we had thus far, trying to get the word out there in the community to get people interested in diving. It's kind of rough, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not talking about basketball, football, or something like that. We're talking about diving, and that just don't spark the interest of some of the people out there until such time they actually see how exciting it is. So it's kind of hard to spark that interest in the community, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Now you spoke of your wife. Is your wife into it as well?
Well, my wife, she number one, she's not a swimmer.
Okay.
I tried teaching her how to swim, and she does pretty good. You know what I'm saying? But that is not her cup of tea. But she does support me,
Good.
and in many ways, comes out and I call her. She's a bubble watcher. I call her a bubble watcher.
Yeah. Okay.
She does support myself in the club, and she does try. A matter of fact, I took her with me one time to the Cayman Islands, not Cayman Islands, but BVI, British Virgin Islands, out there, and she did get out there and snorkel.
So that's a good beginning, huh?
That is a good beginning for her. That is correct.
But
when you talk about teaching adults, it is rough because adults have their fears. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to teaching young adults, kids, they're fearless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and plus they trust you. They think that this is the instructor is going to do the right thing by me. Yeah.
Right.
So that's another thing. You can get the trust of them, and they trust you. So therefore, it's much easier during that process. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Does one have to be an exceptional swimmer in order to be a scuba diver?
No, you don't. As a matter of fact, you don't have to be an exceptional swimmer. As a matter of fact, I have actually been in the water of trained people that didn't know how to swim at all. I had a business associate of mine that didn't know how to swim, but he had a lot of heart, and he got out there because actually in diving, you're not trying to swim. You're putting on some gear that's going to allow you to breathe underwater, and it's a skill thing, it's a skill set, and that's when we get people and discover scuba, and they see you don't have to be a Olympic swimmer to do anything and this stuff because of the equipment that you're using.
But it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
The question is, should you know how to swim?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing. Eventually, you will learn how to swim, but you don't have to.
So, in other words, that's not a requirement to be a scuba diver.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, man. When I hear you talking about it, you see people go, documentaries and things of that nature, and you see a lot of. I'm into photography, so I see a lot of underwater photography today, and much more simpler. Get the equipment that people are using today. And see them out there swimming with the fish, the sharks, and all of that stuff, whatever. I mean, have you had that kind of experience? Where you're out there and all of a sudden, here come the shark coming up to get up off my planet.
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, I guess that would be a fear of a lot of people going into the unknown like that with sharks. You know what I'm saying? Basically, sharks, when they see you underwater, they want nothing. They really don't want to have nothing to do with you. They'll swim away. Now, not all sharks will do that.
Mm-hmm.
You got yourself a great white or a bull shark, they might come at you, but that's very rare when that happens. I've been doing this thing now for 14. Matter of fact, I actually went on a shark dive when there was like swimming with about 20 different sharks. But that's an extreme thing. I don't expect people to do stuff like that. It was just something I wanted to do, but you see a lot of different creatures down there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not only sharks, but octopus, moray eels, other sea creatures out there that that might spark your interest. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it looked like it's nice and cool when you see a guy or girl who knows what they are doing. They up there you see these pools of fish coming by and all of that stuff. It looks rather nice, Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the first experience, usually a person first experience in salt water or even fresh water, if they're at awe with the amount of sea creatures that they're seeing out there. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like a person going into a forest with all the animals,
Yeah.
that just ripping and running back and forth. That's not afraid of you, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Right. Now,
Right.
have you ever dived for any, like you see guys going diving for the relics of a boat or a ship or something that has sunk, many years ago? Have you ever been on one of those explorations of any kind?
Well, we used to the Milwaukee Ferry is a boat that went down in 1920 off Milwaukee. That's right here in Chicago. I mean, not Chicago, but in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And it went down with a lot of old cars on it. So we used to go down and on that particular boat, just to check out some of the old cars that's on there. I went down there with a filming crew one time. They were filming some of those old cars. I mean, boats that go down in fresh water, they are preserved much better than ships that went down in salt water because of the decay in salt water. But I swam through a lot of wrecks before, especially like in Florida, the USS Seagull Grove out there. I swam through that particular boat, and one in Honduras as well. So yeah, I've gone through some wrecks. You know what I'm saying?
Well, how much gold did you find down there? I know you're gonna.
No, matter of fact, these guys are going out to the Red Sea. That was a once in a lifetime dive. I just couldn't afford it, quite frankly. But thinking about the relics, these guys can discover out there. Obviously there's a lot of laws and stuff that you have to abide by.
Right.
People don't want you picking up everything and trying to hoard them back to the United States. But still, if you can find something like that, I mean, it's always a diver's dream to go out there and discover something, turn over a rock or stone or whatever, and there's a gold LeBloom, something like that down there.
Yeah.
But that's wishful thinking.
Right. Yeah. Now, you got a class you said coming up in this month, November. Really, you say you're going to have a couple of classes. We're gonna have some kids in the water on the 16th and kids in the water on the 23rd. And we're looking forward to that. Working with the women training their kids at home, homeschooling, and I'm hoping, obviously, that we
can have a pretty good relationship with this organization.
And where are you guys going to be doing this?
Carver Park Fieldhouse, and that's it's in Chicago. It's 939 East 132nd Street.
Carver Fieldhouse.
Yes. Let me look at it again. I'm trying to make sure I got the address correctly.
Good, right. Okay.
939 132nd Street, Chicago. Again, that's the Carver Park Fieldhouse out there.
Mm-hmm. And now, if one wants to get in touch with you guys, they just go to the website, right? And they can get all of the information, right?
They can go to the website and get all that information. We are constantly looking at the website. If they leave their phone number and what have you, we will call you back. You know what I'm saying? So, right. Absolutely.
Well, I think it's a great thing that you guys are doing, because I was at a ball game, a National Football League game, and really, black folks, I'll tell you like it is, they seem to want to marginalize themselves, They don't think that the scuba diving is for us. They don't think that participating in a lot of these activities, that's American activities, they don't want to participate. Well, like I tell a kid today, I said, you don't have to join the Army. I said, what about the Coast Guard? They never thought about that. I said, you can get involved. I said, but hell, we need soldiers and people into every branch of service. We need, black folks in there. I'm just going to tell you like it is now, I said, because, this is your country and you must participate. No one is telling you you can't do it. And if they tell you you can't do it, you can do it anyway because you have a right to do it, So it's a wonderful thing to see that you guys are involved in this. And I hope that you are able to reach a lot of young folks in this. What is the age group that you're dealing with, about, back and forth? Or do you deal with all age groups?
Well, yeah, I would say all age group. Obviously, a child have to be strong enough to, put the equipment on.
Right.
But I know my dive master, he will probably say, I think maybe from 10 to 18. From 10 to 18 will be considered a group that we actually will sponsor free.
Okay.
We will sponsor them free in Discover Scuba. You know what I'm saying? Over 18, then they'll have to pay a nominal fee as an adult.
That sounds very good, man. It's an incentive if people know about it. If they know about you and they want to know that, hey, look, I can take these scuba diving classes and really, learn something in the process. Hell, you might want to be a marine biologist.
Right. Let me make one thing perfectly clear.
Uh-huh.
Discover Scuba is just that. It's an introductory course. Okay. Now, if a person wants to be a certified diver, now that's a different course altogether.
Okay. Yeah.
So the Discover Scuba is just introducing you to it, so that you can make a decision. This is what you want to do. You know what I'm saying, or not.
For one to get certified as a official scuba diver, what is the entail in that? How does one?
Well, number one, we have in our club master divers instructors that can do that for you. Okay, that's a little bit more. Depends on the individual because it's I will say normally it would take you, if you did it every day, you know what I'm saying, I would say 3 or 4 days, okay? But here in the Midwest, because of the obviously the weather, you can only do the pool portion right now, unless you're going to go from here to Florida and do the outdoor portion, because you have to do open water. You know what I'm saying? In order to be a certified diver, you got to go in the open water. But in the summertime, what we do is we do the pool portion here, and then we go into quarries. okay, and get your certification in the course. But you know, and again, it will take you, I would say, on the average, maybe 3 days, and that's just classroom work and then pool work. Getting your open water certification. But it also depends on the individual, because you need to be comfortable with yourself.
So what else you would
just like when you were saying, a lot of folks don't understand what's going on. Just like someone getting stuck in the neighborhood all his life,
right,
and not understanding what's going on with the rest of the world. This is an opportunity that we're giving people. So this is an opportunity to show you there is a whole other world out there with diving. And just think about it. There's 71% of the Earth's surface is water.
Yeah.
71% of the Earth's surface is water. Okay? And there's only, I don't know, maybe a fraction of the water that's been explored. So it's a whole brand new, whole other world out there. They're constantly discovering stuff out there. Now, be that it may, I'm a recreational diver. I'm not a Navy diver or commercial diver, but I'm telling you, it is a lot of fun out there. Going to these different places, diving in these different, oceans and what have you, and meeting new people, and seeing new things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to thank you for that. And one thing when you talk about the Earth and the water consuming most of the Earth, most of the people live by water. we all along coastlines here. We right along the coast. Wherever you are in the world, that's where you are. You don't go inland too far, Yeah, that's something to think about. You're absolutely right. Well, I want to thank you, Mr. Martin, very much for this, to me, knowledgeable conversation, because, hey, there's so much you don't know. You see things, and sometimes you don't even think about it. But, I mean, This is an opportunity that you're offering, and that's a very good thing. And young cats, you tell a young kid he can go up to 18 and just, learn different things. That's very good, It's, I have to take my hat off to you guys for doing that, And
well, that's part of our charter. That's one of the things that we're doing as a club. We're trying to get in the community out there and create this awareness. We're pushing the education of aquatics, marine biology, things of that nature, because it's like I say, it's a beautiful new world out there that we're just trying to get people aware of.
Right. Okay, and I want to thank you very much, man. I really appreciate this, and I'll be contacting you later on. We'll get together.
Okay, and I appreciate this talk with you.
All right, and you take good care of yourself. You can check this out on my YouTube channel when I get it up there, Helen.
All right, thank you much.
Yeah, Henry CB. That's my name of my YouTube channel is Henry CB. Just type
Henry
in
CB?
Right, Henry's Charlie Bravo, right on.
Gotcha.
Right, and you'll find a whole bunch of stuff up there I'll be putting this one up there as well.
All right, thank you much.
All right, thank you very much. You take good care of yourself and good diving, and look out for. I'm going to add this on too. Have you ran into a whale down there?
Yes, I have. I actually ran into a whale in Hawaii. I was out in Hawaii diving out there, and had to stay away from her because she had not a cub, but a baby with her. Okay. And when they have another a baby, when they get kind of edgy about that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's always a nice sight when you can get a chance to see one of them old big things, man. It's amazing, when they rise up and come back down,
Yeah.
Okay, again.
But, seeing a whale out there, it makes you realize how small you really are.
Yeah. Okay, well, you take good care of yourself. Once again, I said thank you very much for this interview.
All right.
I'll talk to you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye now.
Bye now.
All right.